Hey there everybody, this is Ken from NoBrainer. Hope you're having a great summer. We're here today to share a GMAT exercise, a little challenge for you that was sent to me by one of my students named Magda over the last couple of weeks. So without further ado, let's get right down to it. So this one comes straight out of the official guide for the GMAT, and let me share it with you. I'll just quickly read it. If x squared minus 2 is less than 0, which of the following specifies all the possible values of x? As you can see, there's 5 answer choices, and your job is to decide which is the right answer. So before I give you my solution, I'll give you all a chance to solve this on your own. Okay, so let's start by rewriting the exercise, which was simply this inequality. X squared minus 2 is less than 0, and there were 5 answer choices. And this is a pretty basic exercise, but the only thing that makes it slightly complicated is that we're dealing with an inequality, and when we have a x squared, we have to be careful with where the signs go, right? So simply we know the first step is very basic, and when we add 2 to both sides, we end up with x squared is less than 2, right? Now the question is, what next? Clearly we're going to now take the root of both sides, right? We want to solve for x, and we can simply do that and end up with what you might think is x is less than root 2. But that's not the whole story, is it? Right? Because in fact, when we take the root of x squared, the solution can be positive or negative x. So while this is one solution, negative x is less than root 2 is another solution. And when we solve that for x, or essentially divide both sides by negative 1, we end up with x here, negative root 2 on the other side. But the key now is that when we divide by negative numbers in inequalities, the sign flips. So essentially our solution becomes bounded by these two inequalities. This one here and this one here. Here's the original problem one more time. I just want to show you the answer choices. We had A through E. X is between 0 and 2. X is between 0 and root 2. X is between negative root 2 and positive root 2. And x is between negative 2 and 0. And x is between negative 2 and positive 2. We already know the answer is C. But I want to make another really important point here. Some people are perhaps a little bit intimidated by inequalities, especially when you have to deal with something squared, okay? If that's the case, here's the tip. Make it an equality. Solve, in this case, x squared minus 2 is equals to 0. When you do, you will see that x either equals positive or negative root 2. Think of positive root 2 and negative root 2 as your inflection points. Now, positive root 2 is about 1.4. And what you want to do now is simply work with very basic numbers and test your inequality. At positive root 2, or 1.4 approximately, let's just try 2 and 1. If you take 1 and plug it into the original inequality, you'll see it holds. And when you plug in 2 for x, you'll see it doesn't hold. Do the same thing on the negative side with negative root 2. Try simple numbers around that inflection point. And when you do, you'll come to the answer. And that's a way to get around any algebraic concerns you may have. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video and found the solution helpful. Stick with me here on YouTube, follow my videos, and you too can make exercises like this a no-brainer. See you next time.